Okay, 3, 2, 1. We are live. Okay, right. So bear with me. It's my first time doing live, first time doing EV marks. Not really sure what I'm doing. So what I'm going to try and do, let's try and put just me up on screen here. All right, there we go. So I think you're just looking at me now. So my first live cast, I was having a discussion earlier with Lawrence, and we were talking about using creating our very first workspace. So once we launch MapStack into public beta, as a team, we want to make a first workspace, and we can use that as an example project for everybody else to see what MapStack's about, how you could come together as a community in order to populate a workspace with maps. So the first thing we had to decide is, what type of maps are we going to have in our example workspace? So for me, the workspace, it had to tick a few boxes. Like, first of all, obviously, it has to be a subject that there's open data available for it. Secondly, I'd like it to be something that was topical, something that's of interest at the moment that people would find as of value, and there isn't that kind of collection of maps out there at the moment. And thirdly, I wanted something that could be interesting to everybody around the world, regardless of kind of age or country or background and things like this. So one of the ideas that kind of sprang to mind was house prices. So house prices is a sort of very topical issue at the moment because, increasing interest rates around the globe, lots of inflation, lots of uncertainty, house prices possibly at an all-time, well, they are at an all-time high, but are we at the peak? Is it about to go down? What's happening? So I thought that'd be an interesting subject to tackle. And as far as I can see, it seems to be a subject that's relevant all around the world at the moment. I know it's relevant here in the UK. Paul, one of my colleagues, just moved back to Australia. It's relevant there. It's relevant in Cambodia, where I've spent a lot of time. So touches a lot of bases. So what I wanted to do today, I'm going to see if this kind of open data is available. So I'm going to try and find some house price data for the UK. I'm going to try and map it and then put it into MapStack and see how hard that process is. So we're going to go on a screen share now. Right, so let's keep it simple. So UK house prices by area, July, May. Okay, so what it looks like here is there are monthly updates. It'd be nice to have the newest data, wouldn't it? So let's say December 2022. All right, we don't have December. October. Okay, let's see about October. Monthly house price inflation in the UK, calculated using data from HM Land Registry, Registers of Scotland, and Land Property Services Northern Ireland. Release date 14th of December. Next release date 18th. I'm recording this on the 4th, so I guess this is the newest data that's available. So let's see what we're working here. So main points, and let's have a little read while we're here. Average UK house prices increased by 12.6% over the year to October 2022, up from 9.9 in September 2022. Yeah, so we really are at the peak at the moment, aren't we? Because what I'm hearing at the news at the moment is house prices are actually going down. Okay, the increase in the annual percentage change was partly caused by a sharp fall in UK average house prices in October, 2021, followed by changes to stamp duty and land tax. So, all right, so it sounds like there was a little bit of a slump last October because of the change in stamp duty. Average UK house price was £296,000 in October 2022. I don't know where in the UK you find houses for that price, because I'm here in Bristol and you can't. You won't even get a one-bedroom studio for that, which is £33,000 higher than this time last year and little change from last month. Average house prices increased over the year to £316,000. Yeah, that's a whopping increase. 11% increase in Wales. 195 in Scotland, 176 in Northern Ireland. Okay, so if you want a cheaper house in the UK, Northern Ireland's the place to go. Northern Ireland's also beautiful. Okay, right, so let's try and find the data. So what have we got here? UK house prices. So this is like the whole country. That's not what we want. What we really want is we're building a map, aren't we? So we want areas. We don't want the whole country. House prices by country. That's not a very interesting map, is it? If we just have England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. What else have we got by region? Northeast. So I'm here in the southwest. London is the region with the lowest annual house price percentage change. So This is actually quite an interesting graph because it's kind of flipped. The places in the country that have got the most expensive houses are now at the bottom of the list. So for those of you outside the UK, London is always the most expensive property, and then the sort of southeast would be second, and then southwest is kind of third usually. So the only one that's bucking the trend is southwest. Apart from this, it's pretty much in opposite order of house prices, I would say. I think the southwest was a lot to do. The southwest includes Cornwall and Devon, and I think during kind of lockdown there was a big trend of people wanting to leave the city, working from home, go and live in the country. So I think that's why it bucked that trend. Anyway, have we got any more granular data than regions? Because regions are still not that fun. House price index data, glossary, HPI. Monthly house price movements include an average price by property type, sales, mortgage sales, as well as information for first-time buyers and owners and occupiers. All right, let's see what's in this data set. All right, so what have we got here? House price index data, October 2022. Full file, so that's the big, so that's a bit weird. The full file is 61.8, and then the individual attribute files are all like 10 megabytes, which is a little strange. I'm not sure how that works. Let's download the full file. All right. Okay. Okay, UK Gov, don't do this to me. So we can't download the data. I'm clicking on it and the link doesn't work. So this is actually interesting because this is one of the reasons I actually want to build MapStack is these sort of government data portals. Okay, the big national level ones like this are usually pretty good. They work really well, but there's a lot of regional ones. I was looking for data for Portugal recently. And the site was, a lot of these sites are just really bad. And things like this, like the link doesn't work. Okay, so great, we've got open data, but we can't open it. Let's try. Let's copy link address. Right, let's be nerdy. Okay, let's just go to the temp directory. Let's see if we can get it with a wget. Okay, all right, so you can get the file from a wget, just the link on the website doesn't work. So that probably means if we just say save link as, let's see what happens if we do that. Okay, right, so that gives us the file name. Save. All right, so there's the problem. Can't be downloaded securely. So I'm a web nerd. I know what that problem is. This is HTTPS. Wherever that link is hosted, it's not HTTPS. So my browser's blocking it. That's well done, gov.uk. So let's keep that. All right, so we now have the file, and it's actually 63 megabytes. Did I read that wrong before? No. All right, so UK Gov, like I've spotted a couple of bugs straight away here. You're saying it's 61 kilobytes, so that solves the mystery of why the whole file is bigger than the part files. Okay, so in that case, let's try just getting something from here. So we're working with a smaller file. So let's just go average price. All right, that link's broken as well. Brilliant. So let's do the save link trick. Average price is CSV. Okay, same problem. No HTTPS. All right. So, okay, we forgive you, gov.uk. We forgive you. But is there anywhere I can submit a bug report to tell you about this? But anyway, let's move on. So this average price. So let's see what we're working with here. So I open this with a trepidation. What's going on here? Okay. So it's CSV. So I need to divide it. Okay. So it's already divided up nicely. So let's see what we've got here. Wow. That really is just a dump of data. So we've got England, Scotland, Wales, East Midlands, and then we get down to Northern Ireland, Stoke-on-Trent, cities, Tyne and Wear, E. Oh, right, this data really is a mess, isn't it? So we've just got all different types all dumped into one file. So England, Scotland, Northern Ireland, Wales, and then we get into regions. So E, Scotland. So I get E is England, Scotland, Northern Ireland. So there's a little code there to say what it is. 3 hashes. All right, so we do have a date. Why is it not showing us a date? Okay. Let's get there like that. And then we've got these area codes. Okay. So right, let's look for Bristol. I'm from Bristol, so we're going to look for something that I'm familiar with, because then it will help me make sense of it. All right, city of Bristol. 99. All right, so all right, this is pretty cool. This is very special. So it's got Bristol for every date. All right, so what we need to do. So let's trim this data down. Okay, so we've got 139,000 rows. So this is one of my pet hates. This is one of my beefs about open data, exactly this. I talk about this with MapStack a lot. Open data needs to be free as in speech, not free as in beer. Simply making the data available for download is not good enough. It needs to be accessible and it needs to be useful. Like GovUK, like I'm not singling you out here, but you failed both of those tests. I couldn't. It was difficult to make sense of your web page. I didn't really know what was in these data sets. The link didn't work, so I couldn't get the data. Luckily, I'm a web developer and I could figure out what was going on, and I managed to work around that. But most people wouldn't. If this was my mum, she wouldn't have been able to get this far. She'd be dead in the water already with this little project. And then the last one is the data needs to be useful. So one part of making it useful is a map. Maps are a very nice interface that we can give to people to allow them to dig into this data. But even as a spreadsheet, this doesn't even work as a spreadsheet. It's just a dump of all data for all years. Would it really hurt to have a little bit of an interface where I can filter and say what I want? Do we really need to have the country in the same file? So do we really need 138,000 records? Okay, so we know it's for October. So I'm just going to keep scrolling up here until I get to the end of the tens. Okay, and then I know that we've got the data. So where did that stop? So 10. All right, so this is the data here. From there to there. All right, so let's copy that. Let's make a new sheet after the current sheet. Okay, I'm using LibreOffice here to open it. I'll be honest, I tend to use Google Docs instead of LibreOffice. I want to support LibreOffice, I really do, but oh god, Google Docs is convenient, isn't it? All right, so we've got those there. Let's insert a row above so we can get those headers. So I won't scroll up with my mouse wheel 139,000 rows. Let's do the cheat. All right, so let's get that row, move it across into this sheet. All right, there we go. So let's give ourselves some space to work. Region name, area code. Now, average price SA. So, okay, some bonus points here, actually. Some bonus points here for Gov. I was just slating them because the link didn't work and the data's all in a mess. But I will give them one thing. At least they have human readable column names. Okay. Which is pretty good, because a lot of open data that I come across, it wouldn't say region name like this. Actually, region names are obvious. Let's not do that one. This one would be something like R area instead of area code. So the average person coming in, I've got no idea what ARCD means, and I'm sure there's some lookup table somewhere that will tell you what that means. At least they're human readable. Apart from this one, average price SA. What does SA mean? No idea. Okay, and because I don't know what it is, what I'm going to do? I'm just going to delete that. I don't want to be dealing with data that I don't know what it is, right? So these make sense. Area code, average price, monthly change, annual change. Okay, that's pretty interesting. So if I'm going to map this, I'm going to need to find some boundary data with these codes, I guess. Now the problem is we've got different administrative levels here, clearly, haven't we? So we've got. Can I highlight? Right, so let's highlight and see what we're dealing with. So those are countries. Let's make those yellow. All right, and then we've got regions. Okay, so these are inner London, outer London, North Lancashire, City of Edinburgh. Oh, they're all mixed up, aren't they? West Dunfermline, City of Dundee. Okay, these aren't regions. These are smaller. These are actually smaller. So when we looked at the data before, let's see, I thought I saw the region names in there as well. So I thought we had this kind of stuff: north, east, northwest, southwest. So let's go back to the spreadsheet and see if there is. Do we have north, east? We do. And they're just randomly scattered in there, right? So we're gonna have to get rid of those regions, aren't we? So let's just go through the list here and see what. So northeast, northwest. Okay, so I'm just going to highlight them before I delete them. So northeast, northwest. Let's make those red because we don't like them. Okay, red. Yorkshire and the Humber. Yorkshire and the Humber. Boom. Let's make that red as well. Well, why didn't you highlight? Don't fail me now, LibreOffice. Okay. Southwest, southeast, West Midlands, East Midlands, South, East, and London. All right. So if I just search for South, West, East. All right, let's get London first. All right, so there we go. We've got London. Oh, actually, we've got a load of them here. East of England, London, Southeast, Southwest, West Midlands region. West Midland. Oh, God. It's West Midlands here and then West Midlands region there. East Midlands. I think that's all of them. So how many we've got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. How many are in here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. All right. So we have got all of those, right? So let's rename this sheet. We'll call this October 2022. Rather than deleting data, I always like moving it because it gives me an easy way to kind of like undo things. So let's add a new sheet after. Like, why is before the default? Who inserts sheets before as the standard? Anyway. All right. So let's do this. Not with regions. We'll call it areas. October 2022. All right. So we're going to make that. We're going to paste the whole lot in there. So what we're going to do is we are going to delete those rows. And we're going to delete these. There's probably some clever shortcut to get all of those, but I don't know what it is. All right. Delete rows. Okay, so there we go. So we now have data. We just have areas. How many areas are there? 400. Okay. That'll make an interesting map. That'll make a nice chloropleth map. 400. Gives a bit of shade there. Right. So the next thing we've got to do is we've got to figure out where we can get some geodata with these codes in. What do you reckon? UK area code shapefile? No, not postcodes. UK postcode. No, we don't want postcodes, right? They call it area code in here. Where do we get this data from? Where is this? ONS. ONS area code shapefile. I put shapefile because you can just bet your bottom dollar that names and codes and listings, Office of Financial Statistics, Digital Boundaries, Office 2016. Yeah. Updated 2023. God, somebody's keen. All right. No, that's no good. Right. Well, I was doing this. Let's zoom in. Let's zoom in on somewhere that I know. So let's find Bristol again. Let's find out what the code is for Bristol. Whenever I'm looking for something, I always like using an area that I know because it gives me a better sense whether I'm on the right track or not. So Bristol, find that postcode. Well, that's obviously not a postcode. City of Bristol, local authority, population 10, census, Bristol postcodes, set grid reference, City of Bristol, open data, communities, open data community. What have we got here? It says Atlas as well. Might get lucky. No. All right, Bristol, city of, open data, upper tier authority. So the UK, right? The UK boundary stuff is, I wouldn't call it a mess. A mess is not the right word, but it's slightly annoying. So the US is really easy to work with. The official administrative boundaries that they use are the same ones that people are familiar with. Like everybody knows which state they're in, they know what county they're in, and they know what zip code they're in. The UK has got the things that we know, the things that are in common parlance. Like if I ask someone where I am right now, they would say, right, you're in Clifton, Bristol, and you would know roughly the postcode, right? This is BS6 around here. These are the things that people know. But the UK insists on using these other boundaries that no one's familiar with: upper tier authority, unitary authority, lower tier authority. All right, let's see if we can find a shapefile for that. Output area, upper tier, local authorities, geospatial statistics, data sets. What do you reckon? Does that look good? Let's see what he's working with here. Data set, CSV. We don't want a CSV. What we want is CSV, ONS geography data, lookups, feature service. Come on, UK, really? Feature service, Office for National Statistics, download, CSV. Right, at least let's look at it and just see whether it's... All right, so we're on to the right thing. City of London, Barking and Dagenham, E. Okay, let's just open it up. Let's see whether the codes that we've got in here... All right, so there's Bristol. So Bristol is this E06023. What do we have in the other spreadsheet? Okay, all right. So we're we're onto the right thing. So we need output area to upper tier local authorities. We just need that as a shapefile. All right. Come on, open data gods. See, I talk about this all the time. This shouldn't be this hard. 2011, 2000 here. Census geography. Data.gov.uk, upper tier. What we got? Publisher topic format. Oh, no, we don't see me. UTLA. Okay. UK UTLA shapefile. Just so maybe the people like using the acronym. Ooh, there's something there. So I see the word shapefile. All right, what we got? Statistics. What did I just type in? UTLA? What was my search term? UTLA. Is this Google being smart? And it knows the acronym, but it doesn't have the acronym in here. Lower layer super output areas. This is what... right, so what we got? Shapefile. Local authority districts and boundaries, UK. Up to date. Should we have a look at that? Should we see what we got? This doesn't look like a download. Oh, where are we now? Local authority districts boundaries 2022, right? All right, that looks... Oh, there's Bristol, and the code's the same. I think we found the right thing. I do believe. Now, drum roll, please. What data format's it in? What do you reckon? Right, place your bets now. What do you reckon? GeoJSON, GeoPackage, shapefile? If it says CSV, I'm going to scream. CSV. Oh, okay, right. We got a shapefile. We got GeoJSON. A file geodatabase, file geodb, file geodatabase is the same. Do you know what I'm going to do? Even though it's a bigger download, I'm going to get GeoJSON. I just like GeoJSON. Big GeoJSON fan. Keep it simple. I'm a web developer by trade. I'm not a GIS guy, so I just like JSON. Okay, download's quick enough. Right. So now what we're going to do? Let's fire open QGIS. Right. Oh, that's not good. Some kind of error. We'll ignore that. Long-term release. All right, here we are. So let's open that GeoJSON file that I just downloaded. Where was that? Downloads, local authorities. Boom. Add. Am I missing something? Oh, it's frozen. That's not good. Okay. Right, I will say that this might not be QGIS's fault. The software that I'm using this EVMux for the live streaming. It seems to be quite resource intensive. Remember, I showing you guys HTOP earlier, wasn't I? Like it's really like blasting all 7 of my CPUs. I don't know why. So we won't blame this on QGIS. Okay, we'll blame this on the software. All right, what's going on here? We've got like a black background. All right, it's one of those situations. Should I stop and wait? Should I go and download the shapefile? Right, while we're waiting for that, I'm going to download it in some other formats. This just be a little test here for. So the shapefile's in a zip, and the file geodb zip as well. Is it giving those both the same file name? So BFC GDB. Okay, so that one's the GDB. Right, let's see if QGIS is... All right, so QGIS has come back to life. All right, there we go. So we now have our UK... right, it's added it twice. We don't want that. Right, let's remove this one that is adding here. All right, it's frozen again. And just for reference, guys, this isn't a cheap laptop. This is a ThinkPad X1 Carbon. It's pretty new. It's Gen 6 or Gen 7. I can't remember, but it's pretty new. I'm running it on Ubuntu Linux, so I haven't got a heavy operating system, and we're still struggling here. Like I said, I'm not pinning that on QGIS. I'm pinning it on this streaming software that I'm using. Okay, just to make it absolutely clear. Right, let's remove that layer. All right, we've got one there. Do you like my black background, guys? That's my default in QGIS. I wish... Is there a way to change the skin in QGIS to make it a black background? If there is, someone hit me up in the comments below, because I like running all my software with the dark skin. Oh my God, what's going on here? Right, we're going to do a little Pepsi challenge here, because I just want to know whether it's the GeoJSON or not. All right, so we're going to shut down... Let's just not even shut down Q. Right, let's just remove this layer. Right, we're going to remove the GeoJSON. Sorry, we're going around in circles here. I'm going to waste your time, but I'm going to try adding... Let's not use the GeoJSON. Let's use the... I can't read which one's the file GDB now. Let's try adding the file GDB. Consult detailed explanation. I can't remember what the default is, but we're about to find out. Let's see how quick this is. Multi-polygon 374. Add layers, plural. Anyway, there's only one there. Okay. All right, that's interesting. Much quicker than the GeoJSON. Like, I thought it'd be quicker. I just didn't think it'd be that much quicker. So it looks like it just doesn't like. What's going on here? Can't transform it. Okay. Right, we'll worry about that in a minute. So, all right, so let's stick with the file GDB then. Let's close this little tool here. Let's get rid of this warning menu. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to join that spread. Oh, actually, we need to look in the table, don't we? Make sure it's got the same IDs. Okay, so it does. So, right, my brain's gone dead. How do I select filter features using form? Attribute table. Whoa, what's going on here? How do I get back to the... Open attribute table. How do I get back to the table? I'm stuck. No. No. What's that? What have I done? Select it. There's no mouse over. Where's the tooltip? Like, how am I supposed to know what that button does? Oh, select all. Okay. Right. I don't want to select all. I want to get rid of that selection. Okay. Select filter using form. Move selection to the top. Organize columns, open field count. How do I just get back to just seeing the table? I know there's somebody who's watching this right now just screaming at me, just saying, Chris, the button's right there. Why don't you press it? As somebody who designs UIs, when I look at this stuff, I always think, oh God, I hope my UIs aren't this difficult to use. Right, that is really annoying. I just wanted to know which one. I can't read the table. Actually, I could do an identify, can't I? I can go down here, because what I want to know is which one of those columns is the one that I need to click on. I've forgotten how to do an identify now in QGIS. I am. Oh, there we go. There we go. Right, so let's zoom into where we know as Brizzle, as we like to call it locally. All right, so there's Brizzle, City of Bristol. So LAD 2020. All right, so when I was talking earlier about like crappy column names, this is what I'm talking about. LAD 2022 NM. I know that has meaning in some kind of way, but God, when I'm new to a data set, that's hard. So LAD 22 CD is what we're going to join on. So processing. Oh, it's been a while since I've done a database join. Geometry tools, analysis tools, data management tools, create spatial index, join attributes by location, research tools. How do I do a table join? Right, they're the geometry ones. I'm sure it was in here. I should have looked at this before I started making the video, guys. I'm looking like an amateur now, but I haven't used QGIS in a while, and I've forgotten how to do a table join. Right, Google is my friend. Let's find out where it is. QGIS table join. Forming table joins in QGIS. Layer. Oh no, that's adding the vector layer. Right, I got ahead of myself there. Attribute table. Right, GeoID. We get all of that. We get all of that. Add delimited text file. Add delimited text layer. No geometry. That's not how I used to do it. I didn't used to add the text layer. I used to go. There's definitely layer properties, joins. Okay, so we go, okay. So let's go back in here. Properties, joins. Create a new join. Oh, they've changed the interface. I used to do joins all the time. I'm sure there used to be a button up here and you could just upload the CSV from there. So, right, it looks like you need to add. So we need to add the CSV now. So let's go back to the tutorial. All right, let's do it the proper way. So we're going to go in here and add delimited text file. Okay, so layer. My UI doesn't look the same. Add layer. Add delimited text layer. Right, which one was it? Okay, so we're going to have to export. I'm going to need to export my sheet as a CSV, aren't I? So let's go. Oh, Slack. We don't want to be in there. Actually, let's kill Slack because Slack often uses a lot of resources, doesn't it? All right, bye Slack. Maybe you'll. Oh, pkill. There we go. No, resources are still getting spanked. Right, where was I? So we will need to get back into our spreadsheet. So this was the one here. So this is areas October. So I want to do a file export. No, we don't have file save as. Text via CSV, average prices. Does it know which sheet I want? A file named average prices CSV already exists. Do you want to replace it? No, let's give it a different name. Average prices 2022 10 areas. This document contains formatting or content that cannot be saved to currently select file format text CSV. Use text CSV format warning. Document average. Only the active sheet was saved. Okay, that's what we wanted. All right, so let's get back into QGIS. Boom. Okay, so we've got the area code in there. All right, why is there no add button? No geometry. Okay, right. Okay, cool. Right, so let's do an identifier again because I need to remember what the column name is, don't I? So let's go back to Brizzle. So the column name in here is LAD22CD, and in here that corresponds to area code. All right, so let's try and do the join. What did I do again? Properties, joins, new join, average prices, join field, area code to LAD22, cache join layer in memory. I actually want to make a new layer, but whatever. Let's just crack on. All right. Did that work? What? Is that the house price? Oh, I don't know why I can't see the table here. This is really annoying. Can I go back to the table? No, I don't want to dock. Open attribute table. How do I get back to the regular view? So I just randomly start pressing things. There's got to be one of them, isn't it? There's not too many buttons here. Show all features, show all selected features, show all features, advanced field, store field. Invert selection. That's the filter. I know what that is. All right, so we didn't get the average prices. So it's joined, but we've got null values for everything. Why is that? Right, we are quite lost here, aren't we now? So, what has gone wrong? This is when we're doing a regular live. We could have people in the chat column, in the chat box, and you guys could be telling me, this is what you need to be doing, Chris. That's what you need to be doing. Right, let's remove that layer. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to shut down QGIS because I can't see the table anymore, and it's really annoying me. So we're just going to start this again because I got my old way that I always used to do everything, and I can't see the table. Ignore that error. All right, so we're going to come in here again. We are going to get not our GeoJSON, because remember that was super slow. Where are the files that we downloaded? That is very weird. Why is it asking me for text files? Because it thinks I'm opening a... No. We want a vector file is what we're after. We go in here now and we're going to open up the file GDB. You know what? I'm going to open up the GeoJSON. I'm just going to see if the join works on that because I forgot how slow this was. You always know where you are with a good old GeoJSON file. There's no magic going on. But it is unbelievably slow. Right, so while we're waiting for that to go, let's just go back in. And I want to see... do you know what? I think I wrote a tutorial on this myself for Mango before. Mango map, table join, sourcing and preparing geo... Right, so let's see. If I wrote this article, it would be the way that I used to do it. Okay, so preparing GIS data, filtering the data set. No, that's not what we want. GIS data. I'm sure I wrote a tutorial before on table joins. All right, here we go. There's a younger me. It was me about 10 years ago. I'm just learning the data types. Loading spoons, QGIS, add layer. Right, where's the join? Because I swear it was in a open attribute table. Loading spreadsheet. Add the limited text layer. That is how you do it. Why don't I remember it like that? Am I getting confused with ArcGIS? What's happening? Yeah, they're doing it the same way. Yeah, the same way that was in the previous instructions. I don't know why I remember it in another way. Like, let's see. Right. Okay, so we've uploaded that GeoJSON. So now let's add our delimited text file again. So this is the areas. Open here. What do we have to do? Yeah, we have to do that no geometry add. Okay. So we then have that. So now let's look at these tables again. So open attribute table, because something went wrong with the join there. Wow, QGIS really does not like GeoJSON, does it? Oh, it's remembered it. No. No. Right, we're going to have to crack this, aren't we? Because otherwise we're going to be stuck here forever. Pan map to the selected results. Is there any hide, remove, screen? See, I got here, didn't I? When I pressed the button. What did I press? I pressed the form. Oh, oh my God! There's these tiny little buttons down here in the corner. Right, I finally found them. What a like really. Right. Okay. Right. We can start looking at some stuff in here now. So whenever you do a search at switches, and you've got to do that to find your way back. Okay. So let's do a filter. So LAD, there's two LAD22 values. Okay, so that's the problem, isn't it? So we need the LAD22 CD, right? Right, I'm old school. I'm going to write that down. LAD22 CD. I bet you I selected LAD22 NM when I was doing the join, didn't I? I will bet £1 to a penny. All right, so let's have another go. Properties, joins, create a join, date, area code, CD, editable join layer, dynamic form. Just thinking about it. Right, note to self, do not use GeoJSON in QGIS. It's actually an interesting thing to think about because in MapStack, we're going to make GeoJSON the only download file format. I really like it as for the unmapped crowd that the people that are not what I would call like everyday GIS users. Like GeoJSON's good. It's a format, most developers are familiar with it. Most sort of tech savvy people are familiar with JSON and they know how to open it. You can at least open it in a text editor and kind of know what you have. You just can't do that with a shapefile or a geodatabase. But I've forgotten how slow it was in QGIS. But I suppose somebody who's got QGIS will know how to take the GeoJSON and convert it. So that's kind of a luxury problem. So let's, as I remember, it used to open up the table and you would see the joined layers there. And I don't remember the message about saying storing it in memory. Okay. All right. I think we have done the join. Right. BNG. Right. So what have we got here? Average prices. Okay. There we go. All right. So we've kind of got the data there now. Hartlepool. So we've got some duplicate things. Now I've forgotten so we need to clean up this table, don't we? So organize columns, open field calculator. How do you do it? I got a feeling it was the field calculator, wasn't it? Create a new field. You just move all of the values. Organize columns. All right, let's go back to our friend Google. QGIS rename column. Renaming attributes fields in shapefile. We're not in a shapefile, but it should be the same thing, shouldn't it? Since 2.16, yeah, we're a little bit ahead of that, I think. Layer properties when editing is you can edit field. I don't want to edit field now. I want to end. Renaming is possible using Table Manager plugin. Since QGIS 1, you no longer need a plugin to do this. You can double click a field name in the shapefile from the vector layer, Windows, and rename. So that screenshot's not more. Table Manager. Locate the topmost menu bar, processing toolbox, vector table, rename field. Okay, so processing, who can remember all of that? Processing toolbox, vector, what was it? Vector table, rename field. All right, so that's not much. That's not very helpful, is it? So we're going to rename date. There's a batch process. That mean I can rename lots of them? I think it does. All right, okay, so cool. So I can just go, I can do that. New field name, date. Area. Average price. Probably not going to use this, are we? But we'll keep it in there anyway. Monthly change. What was the last one? It was annual change. Okay. Annual. My spelling is so bad. Double N for annual. Yeah, of course it is. Okay. I was doubting myself then. Can't make spelling mistakes on video. Okay, right. So we run this. What do you reckon? An hour? Wrong or missing output value renamed, row 6. What? Why does that need a... formal. So it looks like I need to put something in here. So I'll just put the same value in. Looks like it's going to save it as some kind of temporary file. I hope. You know, I do love QGIS, but the learning curve, I've got to say, is, you know, we actually spent a lot of time at Mango. One of the things that inspired us to do MapStack was we had a lot of people turning up with data, you know, data like this, tabular data that they wanted to map. And, you know, I've told this story a lot of times, but a MapStack, what's that? Field. Okay, so it looks like it's working. So 0%. Like this might take a while. So I'll tell you a story while we're waiting. So these users that would turn up with tabular data wanted to make a map but had like zero GIS experience. We called them the unmapped at MapStack. And literally 75% of our users at Mango who signed up would fall into this category. So we spent a lot of time and a lot of resources trying to create training materials to get people who knew nothing about GIS to be able to perform basically the task that you're watching me do today, which is taking the tabular data that you wanted, finding some geometry data, doing the join in QGIS, and then uploading that data into Mango Map. And we made video courses, ebooks, all kinds of things. But our metrics showed whatever we did, we only had a 5% success rate. We only had a 5% success rate at annual change G. Weird. Does that mean it's done? Yeah, we only had a 5% success rate in getting people to successfully complete this process, and this is what incentivizes MapStack. It shouldn't be that hard. It should just be as simple as a Google search and there's the data on a map. The average user shouldn't have to go through this. I've been working with GIS for years. Like, admittedly, I'm a bit rusty with QGIS. Okay, but if I'm running into all these blockages, imagine what it's like to somebody who's got no GIS experience at all, and they just want to see a map of house prices by area color coded. That's just what they want. They don't want to have to go through all of this to get there. Anyway, rant over. Let's see whether has it renamed the columns? Drum roll, please. Going to need a longer drum roll. No. All right. It hasn't. Okay. Did it create some new file? Because I just saw. No. Okay, right. Right. I haven't got enough time for that. Okay, so this file was pretty big, wasn't it? So I want to upload this into MapStack. We'll do the name changes inside MapStack because this is just so let's export this. Now I think it's actually going to be save features as save as layer definition. Right. So right, so I think this is going to be too big for MapStack. Like MapStack, we've got I think we've got a 50 megabyte file upload limit at the moment. Right, where's that file? Oh, this is it saved it in my home directory? Let's see if this bug is still. It's not a bug. Oh, there's the annual change. It's outputted each of the individual columns as a. Okay, anyway, that's not what I'm after. Right, there we go. We've got the GeoJSON there. Okay, wow, that GeoJSON is huge. 155 megabytes. Okay. That can't be the attribute table. The attribute table's not that big. What was it? There was like 100 and something features in there, wasn't it? It must be very detailed geometry. Okay, so let's do the old... right, so what we're going to... Just let me open the table to refresh myself. How much... Oh, no. Right. Is Q just giving up the ghost? Wait. All right, Q just has crashed on me. Oh. Oh, God. So that's my new one that I've done. So let's just remove the old layer. I forgot it does that when you export it. Saves it there straight away. Okay, so let's see why this is so big. It's not the attribute table, is it? The attribute table was about 10 rows, 150, 10 columns, 150 rows, something like that. If the table wants to open up. Come on, table. Yeah, so what we got there, like 12. All right, 400. Anyway, that can't be more than a couple of megabytes worth of data. So it must be the geometry. So let's bust out the old Douglas Puka. Am I saying it right? Didn't it used to be in here? Simplify, geometry tools, simplify. There we go. All right, so the old Douglas Puka. Now, open output file after running, create a temporary file. So the tolerance, I can't remember what's a good tolerance. What are we dealing with here? We're working with lat long, aren't we? So lat long, UK, one would be Yeah, one's a lot. I think we want to be like 0.1, don't we? So I think this is something we should actually. Oh, no, all right, that was too much. All right, let's get rid of that. That's the algorithm's not good as well. There's too many gaps in there. All right, let's remove that layer. Okay, let's have another pop at that. So 0.1 was too far. So geometry tools, simplify. Now, I would have thought the tolerance, the smaller number, if I remember correctly, the smaller, so we want to go 0.01. I might be going the wrong way. Maybe it was giving me a good default value in the beginning. Only one way to find out. Let us hit that. We might end up with like 4 triangles. It's taking a bit more time. Okay. Right. That looks good. I don't like that. What's that little like memory? That means it's just saved in memory at the moment. So let's save features as, let's overwrite that last. So just put it in downloads by default. Right, that was very quick. So I'm guessing it's much smaller. UK house prices, where are we? October 2020, 2.3 megabytes. That's what we want. That's what we want. That one seems too small to me. The simplification didn't look that. All right. It's good when you're like that, but it doesn't hold in. Now sorry, I know you're all getting bored of this, but I'm going to have one more pop at this. Right, remove that layer. Okay. Remove that layer. Let's have one more pop at this simplification. So we're going to go properties. Where am I going? I'm not going properties, am I? I'm going vector, geometry tools, simplify. Now, is there no settings for this? Distance, Douglas Puka, snap to grid, area, visvalogram. Have we got any? It's got any? All I remember is the Douglas Puka, but it was snap to grid. Right, so 0. So where did we go then? So we went 0.1. That was crazy, wasn't it? And then we went 0.01. So now where we go 0.01. Okay, let's have a go at that. We'll get there in the end, hopefully. Wow, this broadcast has been running an hour now. An hour worth of video. If you've made it this far, you're doing well. If you're still awake. All right, there we go. All right, so we've got this new one now. Let's zoom in. Okay, that's nice. A few little gaps in there, but it's good enough for what we're doing. It is good enough for what we're doing. Okay. Yeah. All right. So normally I'll play around with that a little bit more, make sure we didn't have any gaps there. But as this is just for a demo today, that is good enough. So let's export, save features as. Oh, good. It put me in the downloads directory. That's where we want it to be. Let's save that one. Press OK. Overwrite that one. Let's see how big we're getting now. UK house price is 7.6 megabytes. Okay. All right. So now we've done that. now what we're ready to do is we are ready to go to Mapstack, and we're gonna make a map from that data. Okay. All right. So we're going to hit the upload button, and we're going to put it in Chris's sandbox because we just have a little play here. We're going to upload the data, UK house prices, GeoJSON. All right. And now we're going to sort it out. So what are the ones? So we want the name, and we want the date, annual change, monthly change, all of that house price data. We don't know the region names, we've already got it. Okay, so they're the properties that we want. What's an interesting thing is we're actually updating this UI right now, so you can actually see these attributes on the map. So when you've got crazy codes like this that don't mean anything, you can actually see the underlying data as well, so you can figure out what they contain. Okay, so let's give these human readable names now. So map stack, right? So a good map property name can be understood by everyone. Good, average population. Bad, AVG underscore pop. Okay, so that's what we're doing now. We're cleaning up this data and we're making it human readable. Okay, or as I like to say, my mum can figure it out. My mum is my very best software tester. Okay, test things on my mum, and my mum's computer literate. Okay, she was a secretary. She has a computer. She can go on the internet. She's not like the sort of classic doesn't know how to use a mobile phone. She's computer literate, but she knows what she knows. Okay, so that's my big test. If my mum can figure out the way through the process, then it's good enough. Monthly change. Okay, name. Should I have left the code in there? Should I have left the code? Yeah, I probably should have left the code actually, shouldn't I? Because the code is good to find, if someone is exporting this data and they want to do a join in future, it would be good to leave the code in there. So let's go in here. So we'll call it code. Let's call it, what was it called? Area code. Area code. All right. Boom. Boom. Okay. We're going in there. So which one's the title property? Name. In a future version of this, we're automatically going to detect that as well. Are any of them averages? Annual change, average price. Yeah, that one's an average. Monthly change. Continue. Percentages. Monthly change. Annual change. I can't remember actually. Were those percentage values or were they number values? Let's go and have a look. Those look like percentages to me. Yes, they are. All right, so that's a percentage. That's a percentage. Continue. Right, I've got a phone call. Sorry, I'm going to take this call. This would be my lovely wife, the boss. I have to answer it. Hello, Mom. I'm going to put you guys on mute a minute. All right, back again. Back again. Okay, so average price, annual change, all of them are number range properties. Continue. Are any of them a category? No, the date isn't a category. Okay, continue. So what's the coverage area? The coverage area is the UK. And what's the feature type? Area. What was the actual name of those areas? What do we call those? Upper tier authority. Oh, it's such a bad name. Upper tier authority, unitary authority, lower tier authority. You know what that'll be? That one will be what it's called in England. That one will be Scotland, and that one will be Wales or something. It's just, UK is such a. So, is there a general term for that? Something that's a bit more rolls off the tongue a little easier. What did we search for before when we got there? We searched for UTA or something, didn't we? I'm just going to put areas. Okay, let's just put areas. What's the topic of the map? House prices. So UK area house price map. Okay. And what's the default video visualization? The average price, obviously. Let's press continue. Uh-oh, demo effect. Oh, so it does not like our GeoJSON. So that's interesting. So it kind of had the map and then it failed. I bet you it's those monster column names. Okay, so let's go back into QGIS. Let's try and fix up this data. Okay, so we're going to remove that layer. Okay, we're going to remove that layer. So let's try and rename a field in. Let's just try and do them one at a time. Okay, so we're just going to call that date. Okay, so that worked. Can we overwrite one that's already on the map? So let's do that. Oh, what a heavy process. Okay, so remove layer. Remove layer. I bet you what it doesn't like is some of these shoddy geometries that we got from that Douglas Pulcott algorithm. Right, so let's go again. Rename field. Is there a way to delete field? Drop fields. Okay, so let's drop the field. What is going on there? So that's useful. Invalid geometry. Okay, so that's probably why we didn't like it before. Look at that. There's invalid geometry. Please run the fixed geometry or change the processing settings to ignore. Okay, so that's what's wrong with this. We've got bad geometry after we've done that simplification somehow. So is there anything in here to fix geometry? Right, let's get some Google on there. Google QGIS fix geometry. Handling invalid geometries, QGIS. Procedure. Where do we go? Procedure, India state step, toolbox, topological coloring. Is that really what we want? All right, that's haven't got time for all of that. Okay, so I think what we're going to have to do here. So it looks like we've actually got bad geometry in this file somewhere. Repair geometry. Plugins. It's too hard to explain how it works. I think I remember a tool online before that had simplification. Map shaper, tool for top level aware shape simplification. Right, let's try that. Okay, it's a shame that we have to go outside of Q just to do something like this, but I've been doing a lot of work with simplification. Right, just go on a bit of a side note here. Recently using Turf.js. So Turf.js. That's why I was quite interested. So with Turf.js, we've actually got quite a lot of options when we're doing the simplification. So we can set the tolerance, which we had in QGIS there, but you can also do this like there's this high quality option. Anyway, we've got a few little bits bobs that we can play with there, and I haven't seen Turf kick out any bad geometry after it's done a simplification, which is kind of interesting. So let's back to the beginning. Oh, did I already delete the file? House prices Q. I did, didn't I? I'd have to do the whole 515. Sorry, I've been doing a lot of talking. We're going to have a momentary pause while we are waiting for this absolutely huge GeoJSON file to appear on the map. Right. Still actually on the map. Thinking about it. There we go. Right, now did this one have the join already? I can't remember. No, it didn't. Right, so let's do this again. Now, I'm not sure when you do a live stream like this, should I come more prepared? But I suppose this is a good case in point about how a lot of these things are harder than they need to be. So let's do the join again. Joins, add. Right. So we learned from our mistakes. Area code matches with LAD22 code. Apply. Oh. What's going on there? All right, there we go. Oops. I was silly, have no. Silly, I didn't think they were. some kind of independent territory or something. Okay, right. So we've got the join now. Okay, so right, let's just save that. So at least we've got the join before we start messing with the simplification again. So right, it's in the download. Joined. Save. Okay. Right. Should we ever go Map Shaper? Should we see if Map Shaper can do it? Let's see if Map Shaper does a better job than QGIS. So that'd be because it might be using turf behind the scenes. Detect line intersections. Detect line intersections, including self-intersections, help identify topological errors in a dataset. Yes, that would be very helpful. Snap vertices. Fix topology errors by snapping together points with nearly identical coordinates. This option does not apply to topo JSON files. Yes, that would be nice as well. Import options. Right, now we're not going to do any of that. Right. Did I already press select? I thought I did, didn't I? All right. Import. Is this file too big? Unexpected end of JSON input. All right, brilliant. Okay. We've frozen QGIS as well. All right. So let's remove that layer. All right, we've got one layer. Should we try doing a join again? Are we brave enough? Simplify. Should we go for a different algorithm? Snap to grid. Area. Vallingham. Gives a choice, includes the distance-based Douglas-Puka algorithm, area-based algorithm, and snapping geometries to a grid. All right, I tell you what we'll do is we're going to give a very, very small level of simplification. Oops. All right, so 0.0. I think we were there before, weren't we? Okay. Let's run. Maybe with less simplification, we'll get this done without it corrupting the data. It's definitely taking more time. See, this is something we need in MapStack, you know, the fix the geometry. I'm never sure about that, about the fixing type thing, because it's kind of, you know, they say like crap in, crap out. All right, that looks good. All right, okay, we've not got any islands. Okay, let's save that and see what we got. All right, let's see how big it is at least. Right, so that's the broken one, so we'll just overwrite that. Overwrite that file. Right, let's see how big it is. 0. That's not a good start, is it? 40 megs. Okay, all right, that's reasonable now. Right, let's go back to MapStack now, and we're going to have to go through all this again, because that's not going to work, is it? We're going to have to start from scratch. So we're going to come in. Right, Chris's sandbox. Let's create the map. Let's upload the file. Where's that 40 meg bad boy? There we are. Right, so what do we want? We wanted all of this averages data. We don't need the region names. We've already got it. We want the name and the code. Don't need any of this nonsense. Yep, that's good to me. Okay, so what was this? Right, so let's give it all human readable names, annual change, average price, date, and monthly change. Area code, that was it, wasn't it? CD for code. Name. Ooh. Okay, and what's the title property? It's going to be the name. Average properties, annual change, monthly change, percentages. Oh, no, what are we going? I've gone wrong there, haven't I? Right, so averages. Which ones are averages? Average prices and average. These two aren't, are they? They're just monthly change, but they are percentages. Order number range, category. Date is not a category. Next. Right, UK. Area. House price. So UK area house price map. That's good. Default visualization. Average price. Continue. See if we have any luck. See whether this GeoJSON works. Let's see whether QGIS has balked the data again. No, still doesn't like it. Didn't even get as far as drawing it this time. Right, let's see if anybody has a GeoJ. Oh, actually, it might work with Map Shaper now because the file's smaller. Oh, no, that was a... See if there's anything out there to repair GeoJSON. We don't want a library. Tool Python to fix invalid GeoJSON objects, GeoJSON viewer and validator. Okay, right, there we are. Really, I've got to paste a 40 meg file in here? You gotta be joking. Yeah, no, that's... JSON repair. Let's have a look at Mapbox. See whether they can open it. All right, I've crashed it. Page unresponsive. Guys, wait. Come on. Come on. Keep chunking it. Keep chunking it. Right, there we are, ladies and gentlemen. Right, QGIS. Yeah, it's screwing up my data. So do you know what I'm going to do? Do you know what I'm going to do here? I'm going to remove this layer. I'm going to remove this layer. Okay, we're going to stop working with GeoJSON because maybe that's part of the problem. Okay, so we're going to export this, save features as. We are not going to save it as GeoJSON. Let's go to an old-fashioned shapefile, shall we? Old-fashioned shapefile. Good old-fashioned shapefile. Can't go wrong with a shapefile. Although God knows what it's going to do to my column names. Some of those column names are about 60 characters long. We will see. Right, there we go. So we've got the shapefile. Let's remove this layer. Okay. Right. How big is the shapefile? 85 megs. Yeah, so it's still a whopper. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to simplify in the shapefile and then export to GeoJSON. We'll see whether that's a bit more. See whether that stops it from mashing up the GeoJSON. Right, so where are we? Vector, geometry tools. I'm getting really tired now. How far are we in? 1 hour, 30 minutes to do this. Okay, too long. You know how long that is? Too long. 0. Right, so can we get a simplification without it? Open output file after running the algorithm. Yeah. All right, so there we go. Let's go yellow one. No. Right. Let's try a different simplification method. So that is still crap. Right, so we're going to go off to Douglas Booker. Let's go for a snap to grid. I've never tried that before. I've got no idea what that's going to be. Is it going to put everything into squares? Right, let's run it at a ridiculous tolerance first, just so I can see what it does. Let's see what this actually does. Is it? Oh my god. Yeah, they're all overlapping each other there. All right. Okay. Well, let's give it a go with a very slight one. Oh, I forgot what I was going to do. I was going to do this and then export anyway. All right. So, any gaps anywhere? Oh, it looks nice and smooth, doesn't it? No donuts, no islands. All right. Okay, that's pretty good. So then let's export that. Save feature as shape files. Simple. There we go. New layer to the map. Remove layer. Okay, and now we're going to export this as GeoJSON. New line delimited. We don't want that. Okay, we go in here. Be interesting to see what the file size is. It's 40 megs before. Overwrite the file. Tap done. Zero. Interesting. Okay, so we didn't make the file as small as we needed it to be, did we? We're still at 79 megs, okay, which I think MapStack at the moment, we've got a 50 meg limit on it. So we are going to have to go back and do that again. Oh, come on, really? Just trying to right click on it at the moment. It's freezing. Okay. So So it was too big last time. So that was still too big. So what did we go down to? We went 0.0001, I think is what we did, didn't we? So let's go to 5. Will that get us below the magic 50 meg mark? Got any donuts? Still not great, is it? Frozen again. $210 megs. What? Word. 12. All right. So let's see whether Mapbox can open this. No, Mapbox doesn't like it too. Right, we've got some bad data here, it looks like. Oh, damn, it just loaded in at the end. All right. Right. Last time. If it doesn't work this time, I'm gonna give up. I'm gonna give up. I'll figure it out off stream and we'll have another crack at it tomorrow. Average 1, 2, 3. I don't even know what they are. See, this is the problem with shapefiles. What do they even mean? We don't know, do we? We're just gonna have to include them, and we'll have to come back in and rename them if they're average 1. Actually, we can go in QGIS and check, can't we? So we can go in QGIS and say open attribute table. All right, so average 1 is the name. Average PR is the date, month, year. Okay, so average 2. All right. So average 1 is name. So we actually don't want to include that, do we? Let's get rid of that because we've already got the name there. All right, so average 2 is average price. Average 3 is monthly change. That is annual change. And then PR was the date, I believe. Is that right? Yeah, PR is the date. Okay, area code, name. All right, title property is the name, averages, price, percentage, those two. All of those are numbers. That's not a category. Continue. UK area house price map. Default is the average price. Right, is this bad data or not? All right, I think we're going to call it a night there, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe I'll come back on another stream tomorrow and give you guys an update if I can fix that video. Okay. Thanks for sticking with me. Over and out. Good night.